Ryan was a simple human engineer who lived on the quiet side of Nova Block City. His days were filled with repairing broken drones, fixing damaged panels, and trying to earn enough credits to pay his rent before the month ended. He enjoyed peaceful nights and silent rooms. He was not ready for anything strange, dangerous, or mysterious. But fate did not care. Fate had other plans. The stormy evening started like any other. Ryan was tightening a loose pipe when his wrist comm flashed with a rare notification. It was a message from Core, his alien friend. Core never contacted him unless something serious was happening. Ryan wiped his hands and opened the message. Ryan, I must leave the city. Please take care of my partner for a few days. I trust only you. Ryan read the message again and again. He laughed to himself. Core had a strange sense of humor. Partner? What partner? The last time they met, Core mentioned he adopted a strange alien creature that loved biting metal. Maybe Core wanted Ryan to babysit that weird pet. Ryan sighed. Fine, bring your small monster, he said to himself. He sent back a short reply. Sure, drop them at my door. Just as he put the wrist comm down, someone knocked. Hard. 3 fast knocks, then 2 slow ones. Core's signature rhythm. Ryan smiled. But when he opened the door, everything changed. Instead of Core, a tall woman stood in the doorway. Her skin was soft blue, faintly glowing under the hallway lights. Her long silver hair was tangled and dusty. She wore a dark cloak, ripped on the edges, as if she had been running for hours. Her breathing was fast. Her eyes, deep violet, were full of fear. Ryan froze. The woman spoke softly. You are Ryan, the human friend? Ryan nodded slowly. Yeah. Where's Core? She looked around the hallway before answering. He said you would keep me safe. Ryan blinked. Safe? From what? Suddenly, she stepped forward and pushed him inside, closing the door behind them with trembling hands. She pressed her back against the door and locked all 3 latches quickly. Ryan stared, confused. Wait, who are you? The woman swallowed. My name is Cirrus. I am Core's partner. Ryan's brain stopped working for a full second. Partner? Like partner? He asked awkwardly. Cirrus shook her head. Not like your human meaning. I am a protector, a guardian, and now I am hunted. Before she could explain, Ryan heard it, soft scraping sounds outside the door. Slow, sharp, metallic, like claws dragging on steel. The hallway lights flickered. Cirrus pressed a finger to her lips, telling him to stay silent. Ryan stepped back, heart racing. Who's out there? She whispered. The ones searching for me. They must not see the case. Ryan's eyes dropped to the small, glowing case tied to her side. It pulsed with a faint light, almost like something inside it was alive. Cirrus covered it with her cloak as the scraping outside grew louder. Ryan whispered, Is someone trying to break in? No, Cirrus said. They are scanning for heat. They will sense us if we move. Ryan held his breath. For a long moment, the scraping sounds circled the hallway like something sniffing for prey. Then, slowly, they faded away. Cirrus let out a shaky breath. That was close. Ryan ran a hand through his hair. Okay, start from the beginning. What is happening? Why did Core send you here? Cirrus walked toward the center of the room, each step heavy with exhaustion. Core was supposed to help me cross the city, but he changed his mind. He told me to come to you instead. Ryan frowned. Changed his mind? Why? Cirrus hesitated. Then she opened the cloak slightly, revealing the case again. Because of this. Ryan leaned forward. What's inside? She said, a living core, a forbidden energy. If it falls into the wrong hands, many people will die. Ryan stepped back. Why are you carrying something so dangerous? Saris's voice shook. Because I was trusted to guard it, but the silent trackers want it. They do not care who they hurt to get it. The scraping outside returned for just a moment, making both of them tense again. Ryan's heart pounded faster. Cirrus whispered, "If they find us tonight, I will not survive, and you may not either." Ryan stared at her. He never asked for danger. He never wanted trouble, but the fear in her eyes made him feel responsible. "What do you need from me?" he asked quietly. Cirrus looked at him with relief and sadness mixed together. "I need shelter, just for tonight. Tomorrow, we must run." Ryan sighed heavily. "All right, you can stay, but you're telling me everything. No secrets." Cirrus nodded. "Thank you, Ryan. You saved my life already." As she sat on the floor, exhausted, Ryan walked to the window and looked outside. The street was empty. The lights were dim, but in the dark corner near the trash chute, something moved. A shadow, watching, waiting. Ryan closed the curtains quickly. Something about tonight felt like the beginning of a dangerous journey, and he had no idea how far it would go.
Ryan barely slept that night. Cirrus sat near the wall with the glowing case in her lap, her eyes half closed but never fully resting. Every time the wind hit the window or a hovercar flew past, she flinched. Ryan wanted to ask 100 questions, but he could see she was tired, exhausted, broken. When the sky outside turned faint gray, Ryan brought her a cup of warm, nutrient tea. Cirrus accepted it with both hands, as if she had not held anything warm for days. "Thank you," she whispered. Ryan sat across from her. "All right, you promised to explain everything. Start from the beginning. Who exactly are you? And what does that case have to do with all this?" Cirrus took a slow breath. "I was part of the Guardian Order. We protected rare living cores. They are, energy beings. Soft, small, but powerful. If corrupted, they can destroy whole blocks." Ryan blinked. Why would anyone corrupt one? "Power," she said quietly. "Some people do not care who dies if they get what they want." Ryan leaned back. "And the silent trackers, who are they?" Cirrus shivered at the name. "Hunters. Assassins. They work for the black market. They want to sell the core to the highest bidder. When they found out I had it, they came for me." Ryan frowned deeply. "So Core was helping you escape?" "At first," Cirrus said. "Then he became afraid. The trackers caught his scent. He thought they would kill him. So he told me to come here. He said, 'You are brave. You would help.'" Ryan laughed bitterly. "Brave? I fix broken pipes. I'm not a fighter." Cirrus studied his face. "But you are kind, and that is more rare than strength." Ryan felt his chest tighten. Her voice was soft, but those words carried weight. Before he could respond, the building alarm beeped once, then again, then again. Cirrus shot to her feet. "They found us." Ryan rushed to the window and lifted the corner of the curtain. 3 tall figures in dark metallic suits stood outside the building entrance. Their helmets had red slits that glowed like demon eyes. They were examining a scanning device. Ryan whispered, "Those are the trackers?" Cirrus nodded, fear tightening her jaw. "Yes, they must have followed my energy trail." Ryan stepped back from the window. "We need to hide." "No," Cirrus said. "Hiding will not save us. They will search every door and every room. We must leave the building before they come up here." Ryan swallowed. "The maintenance tunnels?" Her eyes widened. "Tunnels? Underground?" "Yes," Ryan said. "I know every path down there. I repair them. It is our best chance." Rian grabbed a small toolkit and a backpack. Cirrus held the glowing case tightly. They opened the door quietly and slipped into the hallway. Every sound echoed too loudly. Every corner felt dangerous. Halfway down the hallway, the elevator dinged. Cirrus froze. Rian pulled her behind a cleaning drone station. The elevator doors slid open slowly. 3 trackers stepped out. Their boots made heavy metallic clicks as they walked. They made no sound, no voices, only cold mechanical movement. The first tracker scanned the hallway with a long red beam. It moved across the walls, across the ceiling, across the floor. Closer, closer. Rian held his breath. Cirrus closed her eyes. The beam passed over their hiding spot, paused, and then moved on. The trackers continued walking toward the far end of the hallway. Cirrus let out a tiny breath. Rian whispered, "Come on, stairs!" They moved fast but silent. When they reached the stairwell, Rian pushed the door open gently. They slipped inside. The echo inside the stairwell was dangerous. Every step felt like a shout. They went down 1 floor, then 2, then 3. On the 4th floor, Cirrus suddenly grabbed Rian's wrist. "Stop!" Rian listened. A soft clicking sound echoed up the stairwell. A tracker was coming from below. Rian whispered, "We are trapped." Cirrus pointed to the side. "There, the maintenance hatch." Rian spotted it. A small metal door almost hidden behind pipes. He pulled out his toolkit, but Cirrus placed her hand on it. "Allow me." Her skin glowed faintly blue. The lock melted silently. The hatch opened. They crawled inside and closed it behind them. Darkness swallowed them instantly. Only the faint blue glow of Cirrus's skin and the soft pulsing light of the case illuminated the narrow tunnel. Rian whispered, "Follow me. Stay close. There's an exit on the other side of the building." Cirrus followed him on hands and knees. The tunnel was small and dusty. Pipes hummed around them. Strange vibrations shook the walls. Suddenly, Cirrus stopped crawling. Rian turned. "What's wrong?" She held your chest. "The core. It is reacting. Something is near." Rian frowned. "Near? Like what?" As if in answer, the tunnel lights flickered the life, one by one, glowing red. Cirrus whispered, "The trackers activated the thermal sensors. They know someone is in the tunnels." Rian cursed under his breath. "We need to move faster." But as they turned a sharp corner, a chilling sight waited for them. A tracker crouched low in the tunnel, blocking the path. Its red eyes burned in the dark. Its claws scraped quietly on the metal floor. It had been waiting. Cirrus grabbed Rian's arm. "We cannot fight it." Rian clenched his teeth. "Then we run." He turned around and froze. Another tracker crawled in from behind. They were trapped between 2 predators. Cirrus whispered, voice trembling, "Rian, what do we do?" Rian looked around desperately. Then he saw it. A side vent half broken, barely big enough for one of them. Not both. Cirrus saw it too. "Go," she said. "Save yourself." Rian shook his head. "No, we're getting out together." The trackers started crawling closer, slow and hungry. Rian took a deep breath. He had no weapons, no armor, no plan. Just one desperate idea.
Ryan felt his heartbeat in his ears as the 2 trackers crawled closer from both sides of the tunnel. Their metallic suits scraped the narrow walls, creating a sharp sound that made the whole place feel smaller. The red lights on their helmets flashed slowly, like the eyes of patient hunters. They were trapped. Cirrus held the glowing case against her chest. The pulse inside it grew faster and brighter, almost like it was reacting to the danger. She whispered, "If they get the core, everything will end. We cannot let them touch it." Ryan swallowed hard. "We won't." But he had no idea how. The tracker in front lifted its clawed hand and tapped the tunnel floor twice, slow,
steady, confident. It knew they had nowhere to run. The one behind them repeated the same tapping pattern. It was a warning, a promise, a countdown. Cirrus held Ryan's arm tightly. "They want to take me alive, but they will kill you. They always do." Ryan tried to speak, but fear had locked his voice. He looked at the broken side vent again. Too small, too tight. But maybe it wasn't meant for escape. Maybe it was meant for something else. Ryan leaned close to Cirrus and whispered, "When I move, crawl behind me. Keep your head down." Cirrus looked confused. "What are you doing?" "Trying something stupid," Ryan whispered. He moved fast, faster than he had ever had in his life. Ryan grabbed a loose maintenance pipe above his head, ripped it free with both hands, and smashed it against the nearest light fixture. Sparks exploded, the tunnel filled with blinding white light. The closest tracker hissed and raised its arms to shield its sensors. "Go!" Ryan shouted. Cirrus crawled past him as the tracker recovered. It reached for Ryan, but he swung the metal pipe again, blocking the claws just long enough for Cirrus to clear the corner. Ryan dove after her. "Left. Take the left tunnel." Cirrus pulled the glowing case tightly and crawled fast, her breath shaking. Behind them, the tracker's claws scraped loudly as it chased. The sparks Ryan made gave them only a few seconds, but seconds mattered. The tunnel opened into a wider section where cables hung from the ceiling like tangled vines. Ryan pulled Cirrus behind a stack of old generator boxes. Cirrus whispered, "That was reckless, but brave." Ryan nodded. "Please save the compliments when we're not about to die." They both listened. The tracker was near, very near. Ryan noticed a panel on the wall with 3 flickering yellow lights, one of the older power hubs. He'd repaired a similar one before. If he could overload this hub, it might blast electricity through the tunnel and slow the trackers. "Stay low," he whispered. Ryan crawled to the panel, opened it quickly, and pulled out a handful of wires. Sparks flew. Cirrus watched with worry. "Ryan, what are you doing?" "Improvising," he muttered. He twisted 2 glowing wires together. The panel hummed violently. A loud crack echoed through the entire tunnel. Blue electricity burst forward like lightning, crawling across the metal walls. The tracker entered the tunnel at that exact moment. It screamed, an awful metallic shriek, as the electricity hit its armor. The armor smoked, the visor flickered. The tracker fell forward on its knees, stunned. "Now!" Ryan grabbed Cirrus's hand. "We need to move before it recovers." They ran deeper into the maintenance tunnels. Pipes clanged above them. Dust fell from the ceiling. Cirrus's breathing became weak and uneven. Ryan helped her stand. "Hey, stay with me. Just a bit more." Cirrus shook her head. "The core, it is draining me. It senses danger." Ryan looked at the glowing case. The light inside had turned a harsh orange. Something was definitely wrong. In the distance behind them, a deep, echoing metallic thud rising from the dark. The second tracker. It was still coming. Ryan cursed under his breath. "We need to reach the eastern exit. There's an old service door that leads outside the block." Cirrus nodded weakly. "Lead the way." They moved as fast as they could through the twisting tunnels until they reached a large round chamber, the old drainage nexus. Water dripped from the ceiling. Echoes bounced everywhere. In the center was a rusty ladder leading up to a hatch. "That's the exit," Ryan said. But before they could reach it, a heavy crash sounded behind them. The second tracker stepped into the chamber, larger than the first, and its red visor glowed brighter. It had followed their heat signatures without fail. Cirrus stumbled back. "This one is a prime tracker." Ryan felt cold. "Prime?" "It is faster, smarter, deadlier." The tracker walked towards them slowly, each step shaking the metal floor. Ryan pulled a screwdriver from his bag, the only thing he had left, and held it like a weapon. Cirrus whispered, "Ryan, you cannot fight it." He whispered back, "I know." The tracker stepped closer. Ryan grabbed the rusty ladder with one hand and shouted, "Go! Climb!" Cirrus hesitated, torn between fear and guilt. "What about you?" "Just climb!" She obeyed,
and began climbing towards the hatch. Ryan turned back just as the tracker lunged. He dodged barely in time. The claws scraped sparks from the floor, inches from his leg. The tracker rotated its head towards the ladder, towards Cirrus. Ryan didn't think. He attacked. He slammed the screwdriver into the tracker's shoulder joint. It didn't do much damage, but it distracted the monster for 1 second. 1 precious second. Cirrus reached the hatch and pushed it open. Fresh air rushed in. "Ryan!" she cried. "Come!" Ryan ran for the ladder, but the tracker grabbed his leg. Its grip was like a metal vice. Ryan screamed. Cirrus reached down. "Give me your hand." Ryan stretched his arm. Their fingers touched. Then, the core inside the glowing case screamed. A blast of bright blue energy exploded from the hatch, hitting the tracker like a wave. It released Ryan instantly. Ryan scrambled up, grabbed Cirrus's arm, and pulled himself out of the tunnel. The hatch slammed shut behind them. Below, the tracker roared, and it was still alive.
Fresh morning air hit Ryan's face as he and Cirrus crawled out of the hatch. They collapsed on the metal rooftop of an old storage block, breathing hard. The sun was low, the sky glowing orange, but the moment felt nothing like peace. It felt like running from death in daylight. Cirrus lay flat on the ground, holding the glowing case tightly. The pulse inside it was unstable, bright, fading, then bright again. She touched the lid carefully, whispering something in her native language. Ryan sat beside her. His legs still burned where the tracker grabbed him. His whole body shook from the close call. "You good?" he asked softly. Cirrus nodded weakly. "Yes, but the core is losing control. We do not have much time." Ryan looked over the rooftop edge. Far below, the city was waking up. Hover cars moved between the buildings. Vendors opened their shops. No one knew 2 hunted people were hiding above them. "We need to keep moving," Ryan said. "The prime tracker is still alive. It's not stopping." Cirrus slowly stood up, but before she could take a step, she froze. Down on the street, 3 figures walked calmly between the crowds. Trackers. The same ones from the building, moving slowly, searching, scanning. Ryan's heart dropped. "They're spreading out." "They will find us soon," Cirrus whispered. They crossed the rooftop quickly and climbed down a rusty fire ladder. Ryan helped Cirrus when her hands shook. They moved through narrow alleyways, trying to blend into the morning shadows. Every street felt dangerous. Every corner felt watched. Finally, after 20 long minutes, they reached the old service tunnels near the edge of the district. A broken door led inside, a forgotten maintenance path only Ryan knew. He pushed the door open and froze. A tall alien stood inside the tunnel. "Core." Ryan's eyes widened in disbelief. "Core, what are you doing here?" Core stepped forward slowly. His eyes were calm, but something dark hid behind them. "I was waiting for you, both of you." Cirrus took a shaky step back. "Core, you left me. You told me to find Ryan." Core lowered his head. "I am sorry for that, truly, but I had no choice." Ryan frowned and, "What do you mean, no choice?" Core took a breath and looked at Ryan directly. "You must listen carefully. The trackers did not chase me, they chased her. Cirrus carries something too valuable, too dangerous. I could not protect her. I am not strong enough." Cirrus's hands clenched around the glowing case. "We trusted you. I trusted you." "You should not have," Core said quietly. Something inside Ryan snapped. "So you used me, dumped her on me like a package, hoping I would deal with your problem?" Core didn't deny it. "I needed someone who would not abandon her, someone with courage, someone who thinks with his heart, not fear." Ryan's voice rose. "That's not trust, that's betrayal." Core sighed. "Perhaps, but Cirrus has to go with me now." Cirrus shook her head instantly. "No. I will not go with you.
You do not understand, Kor said. The trackers know you are with a human. They will not stop until they catch you both. But if you come with me, I can give you to someone who will keep you safe. Ryan stepped in front of Cirrus. Give her to who? Kor hesitated. To the syndicate. Cirrus's eyes filled with horror. No, Kor, how could you? They will take the core from me. They will torture me for it. Ryan clenched his fists. You're selling her out. Kor looked pained. I don't want to, but if I don't deliver her, the syndicate will kill my whole family. I cannot lose them. Silence fell. A painful, heavy silence. Ryan stared at Kor, not recognizing the friend he once knew. Cirrus's voice broke the silence. Kor, I would forgive you for leaving me, but not for this. Not for giving me to the syndicate. Kor stepped forward and extended his hand. Cirrus, please, come with me willingly. I do not want to force you. Ryan moved instantly, blocking the way. She's not going anywhere with you. Kor's eyes hardened. Ryan, do not make this difficult. Move. No, Ryan said. His voice was calm, but it carried fire. Cirrus touched Ryan's arm softly. You do not have to protect me. This is my fight. Ryan shook his head. You're not alone anymore. Kor sighed and pulled a small device from his belt. It flickered with red light. I didn't want to use this, Ryan, but you leave me no choice. Ryan stepped back, pulling Cirrus behind him. What is that? A beacon, Kor said. It will call the trackers here. They will take Cirrus and leave me and you alive. This is the only way. Cirrus whispered, terrified. Kor, no! Kor pressed his thumb on the device. A sharp metallic roar echoed through the tunnel. The prime tracker had arrived. Kor looked up, face turning pale. It's already here? He asked in disbelief. The tracker stepped out of the shadows, filling the tunnel with its towering shape. Its red eyes locked on Cirrus, then shifted to Ryan, then to Kor. Kor held his hands up. Wait! I can give her to you. The tracker punched Kor across the tunnel, sending him crashing into the wall. Cirrus screamed. Ryan grabbed her hand and pulled her behind an old support beam. The prime tracker lowered its body, preparing to strike. Ryan stood his ground. He had no weapons, no power, no armor, only courage. But sometimes that is enough to change everything.
The prime tracker stepped forward like a walking nightmare, its heavy metal claws dragging sparks on the ground. Every step echoed through the tunnel, deep and slow, like a countdown to death. Its red visor glowed brighter as it locked on to Cirrus and the glowing case she held close. Rian stood in front of her, shaking but refusing to move. Rian, Cirrus whispered, please, don't do this. You cannot fight that thing. Rian knew she was right. He was only a human engineer with no armor and no weapon. But something fierce had awakened inside him. Something that wouldn't let him back down. I'm not leaving you, he said firmly. The prime tracker tilted its head, studying him. It didn't see a threat. It saw a simple human resource worker, someone who should be running, begging, or hiding. But Rian didn't move. The tracker leaped forward. Rian pushed Cirrus aside, and the giant claws smashed into the pillar where she had been standing a second earlier. The entire structure cracked, dust rained down from the ceiling. Rian ducked under the second swing and rolled across the floor, barely avoiding the sharp metal. Rian! Cirrus cried. I'm okay, he shouted, though he wasn't sure he really was. The tracker advanced again. Rian crawled backward until his hand hit a metal toolbox. He grabbed the first tool he felt, an old plasma cutter. Not a weapon, but it might buy him time. He pointed it at the tracker and hit the trigger. A weak beam of blue light shot out, hitting the monster's chest. It didn't hurt the tracker, but it made it pause. A pause was all he needed. Cirrus, the ladder! Run! Rian yelled.
Saris hesitated for a moment, torn between fear and the guilt of leaving Rian behind. But the core was unstable. She had to get it somewhere safe. She sprinted towards the ladder at the end of the tunnel. The tracker turned instantly. It forgot Rian. It focused on Saris. "No!" Rian shouted. He jumped onto the tracker's back and jammed the plasma cutter into one of the suit's joints. Sparks erupted. The tracker roared and thrashed, trying to shake him off. Rian held on with everything he had. "Come on, you metal monster!" he yelled, voice cracking. The tracker slammed itself backward into the wall. The impact knocked the air out of Rian's lungs. Pain shot through his ribs. He fell to the ground, dizzy and breathless. The tracker stepped toward him, raising its claw for the killing strike. Sarah screamed, "Stop!" The glowing case in her hands burst open. A brilliant blue creature, small, round, glowing like pure energy, floated out. It was no bigger than a football, but the power inside it felt ancient and alive. The creature hovered in front of Saris, trembling like a frightened child. The prime tracker froze, the energy being looked at Rian with curious eyes, then turned towards the tracker. Its glow brightened and brightened until the entire tunnel turned blue. "Saris," Rian whispered, "what is that thing?" Saris stepped forward, voice shaking. "A living core, and it has chosen to protect us." The tracker lunged at the creature. A flash. A wave of force exploded outward. Silent, powerful, unstoppable. The tracker flew backward like a rag doll and smashed into the far wall. Its armor cracked. Its red visor flickered and went dark. Silence filled the tunnel. The blue creature dimmed slowly, exhausted. Saris caught it gently in her hands. It used too much energy. It cannot do that again. Rian stood shakily. His body ached everywhere, but he managed a weak smile. "Good timing, little guy." Saris hurried to him. "Rian, you could have died." "I almost did," he laughed breathlessly, "but I'm glad you're safe." Saris touched his hand, her eyes soft and full of gratitude. "You protected me when you had nothing. No power, no weapon, only your heart." Rian blushed slightly. "Well, I'm an engineer. We improvise." Before she could reply, a low groan echoed from across the tunnel. "Core." He pushed himself up, clutching his ribs. His face was bruised. His eyes were full of shame. Saris turned away from him instantly. Rian stepped protectively between them. "Stay back, Core." Core raised his hands weakly. I'm sorry. Everything I did, I thought it would save my family. But now, I see what I lost." Sarah shook her head. "It is too late." Core lowered his gaze, knowing she was right. Sirens echoed in the distance. District security was approaching after sensing the energy blast. "We need to go, now," Rian said. Saris nodded. They moved together towards the far exit. The blue creature floated weakly in Saris's hands, pulsing softly like a small heartbeat. Before leaving, Rian glanced back at Core. "You should run before the security gets here." Core gave a sad smile. "Take care of her, Rian. You were always braver than me." Rian turned away, following Saris into the rising sunlight of a new morning. They walked through the quiet alleys until they reached the abandoned docks where old cargo shuttles gathered dust. Saris looked at Rian. "Where will we go?" Rian smiled. "Anywhere the trackers aren't." Saris nodded, hope shining in her eyes. "Then I will follow you." As they boarded the old shuttle, the blue creature curled into Saris's hands, like a sleeping child. Rian looked out the window and whispered, "We're not done. Something tells me more danger is coming." Saris placed her hand over his. "Then we face it together." The shuttle engines roared to life, and the three of them disappeared into the sky, not knowing the war that waited for them in the darkness ahead.